Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of Group Chat, the #1 podcast in the world. And we have a huge, huge announcement at the beginning of this episode. You do not want to miss what we are about to announce. It will be the transformational moment of Group Chat Kathy fandom.
It's really exciting.
It is exciting. It's very exciting. And then we get into some news. We talk stonks. We talk oil. We talk...
and how you could have gotten rich by just listening to this podcast.
This is not financial advice.
Let's get into it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, Kathys, the time has come. We're doing an NFT.
We're back. We're here. It's dropping.
It's dropping. So we got Jon and Doug here from Dropped. And, you know, we've been talking about doing an NFT for about a year. And I think for me, it was more about crystallizing the community and the access. I know crypto's in winter right now, or blizzard, or whatever you want to call it.
Dark ages.
The dark ages. But at the end of the day, our NFT project is not, the goal is not for it to be like some speculative art project.
Right.
Although the art is very cool, it is more about bringing together the community in a formal way. And one of the things I think that, you know, Jon and Doug totally understood was we want to obviously provide value to even to people who listen to the podcast. Like, our goal is daily, like you should provide value to people. And I think with what we're doing with the NFT, we are going to formalize that value. And I think it stands. I know community is a very overused word.
Definitely.
Everyone thinks they have a community. But before it was cool to have a community, we were doing this shit. And so I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, you look at the people who did it well. Like Bobby Hundreds has a community, and his NFT project was great. It engaged people. As a Group Chat Kathy, loyal Kathy, I've always felt a part of this community.
Yeah.
Whenever I've been able to come down to LA and meet other Kathys or people who are within your friend group, I just feel a part of it. And it's so advantageous for me as an entrepreneur, or just as someone who's trying to learn more, to meet these people. And that's the best thing about this group.
Yeah. And I think, you know, one of the things that I believe in life in general, it's all about access. And I know, because knock on wood, I'm fortunate. I feel like I have like an all access pass to life, and it's changed the trajectory of my life because of that. But that's not, one, easy to attain, and two, not everyone has my charming personality where you can basically walk into any room and be the star. Well, so I don't expect that to happen for everyone.
No, and I think to that point though, it's like for me as someone who like lives in Sacramento, I see and I listen, I'm a part of the Group Chat like family, but I feel so disconnected. You know, and if it wasn't for me being able to reach out to you on Instagram, having that first meeting like 3 years ago, getting to know Anand and the team here, like that's such a treasure to me. And something that I cherish and I value very much. And this, I think, will be a great opportunity to bring people like myself to meet you guys and to communicate with other guys who are and girls who are a part of this community. So
there's a lot of people with great ideas, but a lack of resources. So they don't know how to, like, access is the hardest thing to get.
Exactly.
Once you get it, it opens up doors. But that first step in getting it is like nearly impossible for most people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I also think, you know, part of what we're going to do with the NFT access is not just access to us, because honestly, like that's to me a very small piece of it. I don't think in some cases we're helpful, in some cases we can't be helpful. I think it's more access to all of the other folks that listen to the podcast. So as someone that has traveled quite a bit and actually met probably thousands of our listeners over the years, it's insane who listens to this podcast, the people who listen. And for our listener to have access to those other people it could be life changing, and it is, because I know I've made so many intros that have changed people's life who just randomly listen to the podcast and are like, "Can I meet so and so?"
Well, and you guys do it you guys do it for free because of the kindness of your hearts, and you guys want to help people interact with people.
Yeah,
like Run Club is a great example.
Yeah,
the people I met when I went to Run Club, I was literally having an asthma attack running through WeHo, but I was so excited I could meet these people.
Yeah.
And like my Rolodex increased. And it was just such a cool thing. Cause like, you know, you're always wondering what's like over the fence, right?
Yeah.
And you got a glimpse of that. And it's also realizing that's attainable. So
yeah.
What's crazy and scary is it's a large number of people have DM'd me over the last 2 years that they've changed their jobs because of something that they've heard on the podcast.
Me, man. Like, I was a teacher.
That's fucking scary.
Yeah, you're a teacher.
I was like, what if we're wrong?
I cashed out my 401k and I said, fuck it, let's go, baby. We're going full group chat. So I was like, but yeah, it's because of what you guys have done. You guys have brought so much insight to, not that I was narrow-minded, I've always wanted to like have something or do something, right? But
gave you the push you needed.
Yeah, and I feel like there's going to be people in this ecosystem and the holders of this NFT that, you know, are well-to-do, have great businesses, but there's going to be people like myself who want to get to that step.
Yeah.
And if I can brush elbows with someone like that, the possibilities are endless, which is so exciting.
I think you're discounting what your guys' influence like means to others. So like a line to communicate with you guys is way more valuable than you think.
Yeah.
Like from outsiders looking in, I would be stoked.
Yeah.
And I think what we learned too with the NFT utility stuff with Leisure Town that we dropped, you know, we've given away concert tickets, you know, we've been trying to build the brand through this. What we want to do specifically with Group Chat is meetups. You know, we talked about having a bi-coastal meetup every year where you can get invited and your access pass is your NFT.
Yeah.
Because an event like that, a live show, something to see you guys, it's great to see you and I love seeing you guys, but it's also very, very important to meet the other Cathys. And who knows, you might fall in love, start a business,
networking,
you know, make a baby, who knows?
Yeah.
There's so many things.
I mean, especially for entrepreneurs, like every entrepreneur always has challenges. Maybe there's someone you meet that can help you find a new manufacturer or whatever, new supplier, whatever the hell you're making or doing. And that can be really valuable.
I mean, we just went over it in 15 minutes, a pitch that we're pitching to a major sports group. And Dee was like, yeah, no, don't do that. It took him 5 minutes to hear the pitch. I'm like, no, switch it, do this. And it's like, if I didn't have that, I would go in there and not fail, but probably not be as prepared as I should. But
yeah, I mean, the good thing is like when you speak to like anyone who has any experience in any particular industry, they have such in-depth kind of knowledge and experience on that particular thing. So they know how to give feedback immediately. And what I've always liked, like I know a lot of people are who listen to the podcast are YPO members. And so YPO is like a very prestigious, awesome organization for founders and CEOs. And, you know, I've been fortunate to get invited a number of times, but I never struggled with finding like people to talk to or network with or whatever. So And I get it. That's a very engaged community, and everyone I know that's in it loves it. I think I'm just, I don't know. I also like all walks of life. I don't need to just be around successful people. Like I want to see the
barrier to entry into YPO is difficult.
Yeah, it is.
My partner told me about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people can't just get in.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have a serious revenue threshold, serious level of success to be there.
Yeah.
But I think what we envisioned with our community is like what is like a modern version of YPO.
Yep.
And it you could be the lawyer, you could be the doctor, you could be the student, you could be the billionaire founder, whatever. But everyone is a part of this community and this kind of like-mindedness of like thinking. And I think like the hope is, because, you know, I've met younger people, I've met older people who have changed career paths, found new interest, you know, lost weight, went on a trip, all because of the podcast, which is pretty crazy. Those are like pretty big decisions in your life. Like, we went to honeymoon because we went to, you know, someone messaged me the other day. He's like, I went to Mykonos for my honeymoon because of the podcast because you were hyping it up.
Even the episode we dedicated to our dad, the number of people that reached out and said they reconnected with their parents. They decided to go on a trip with their parents. It's like crazy.
Dude, it's mind blowing. My son, like, he knows when I'm listening to Group Chat, and he like gets excited to listen to it.
Oh,
and
that's
it's
amazing.
Like, and he's 5 years old.
Yeah,
and like he asks questions, and it's just like I think the value of it's so exciting to be a part of this journey with you guys.
Yeah.
And the thing that I love about what we talked about is like, it's not an NFT to just get money and do nothing with it, right?
Yeah.
I like that, we're thinking about putting it back into events and networking opportunities for NFT holders, and then also creating a fund to give back as a grant to an entrepreneur who's starting its journey. So
yeah. And so like we're going to publish our white paper on kind of what the roadmap is for the NFT. So it's a combination of access, events. We are planning a give back. So 10% of the money we earn on the mint, we're going to grant it to an entrepreneur to help kickstart their business, venture, whatever they want to do. We'll make that a fun competition. We want to create job boards for everyone involved. Mm-hmm. So you want to change your career, you want to find a new job, whatever, connect with founders. We want to create opportunities for people that want to meet other investors, whatever it may be. It'll be our little ecosystem for our listeners. And hopefully it can, even if you don't need anything, the smartest people I know, put it like this, the most successful people I know are also the best learners. And they always want to constantly learn from anything about anything, whether it's crypto to politics to tax, whatever. They just want to know. They're very curious people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this will be about, is like bring all of that together. Each NFT is gonna cost 50 ETH. No, just kidding. We're basically running off with this money. We're gonna make $500 million.
If you guys are cool with it, we'd love to do it on the fiat credit card, debit card, payment processing. Knock it out so it's easy. You don't have to worry about the influx of what's ever going on in the crazy world in crypto land. We can just have it be a
easy transaction. And look, we want to make it easy, accessible for everyone, because we know there's very Web3 savvy people that listen, and there's people that have never done anything. So we want to make it easy and accessible, and we want it to, I think realistically it'll come out in September. That's our goal. We're kind of building up are we sharing the website to? Yeah,
so you can join. What we want to do is get the engagement and really start building this community in the NFT focused portion right now.
Yeah.
If you go to groupchatnft.com, you can read the white paper as well as join the waiting list for the whitelist. And so we'll try to do something fun for all those people who signed up first and joined. So that way, they're incentivized to get in early, so we can really allocate the right plan to see who's involved.
And the other thing, what I would love is feedback from everyone on what you want, part of the community. So if you think a job board is helpful, or you think whatever it is, like one of the things I want to do is like, for the NFT holders is like, who's our lawyer?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who's our accountant? Who's our insurance person? Who's our dentist? Who's whatever? Like, who's our community person for all of that thing?
I'm the consumer.
Yeah. John will buy anything. You serve John a Facebook ad.
Super consumer.
The expert on Disneyland too.
Right?
You're giving private Disney tours.
That's my role. If you guys want to go to Disneyland, I got you. Start to finish, man. I'll plan your trip for you.
Bro, he can get you fast passes on the low.
Yeah. Whether it's travel, whether it's this, like imagine if you go like, oh, I'm going to Tokyo. I need the best restaurants. And there's a person that has compiled the best restaurants in Tokyo.
I've got a good list.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that's the one thing too. I like, to that specific point, we were in Vegas a couple weeks ago, and we had an elevated trip because of me knowing you.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
Yeah.
It made our investors extremely blown away.
Yeah.
They were mind blown the fact that we were at the place.
We saw LeBron James. I talked to Diplo there. He talked to Webb. Yeah. Like, it was sick.
And he looked at us. He was like, why are you guys here? And I was like, don't ask questions.
I got my car in the middle of a car shortage because of a Kathy.
Yeah.
At a reasonable price.
I got free drinks.
MSRP.
Wow.
The first time we came on here, I got free drinks at a Sacramento Kings game because the bartender is a Kathy.
Oh, no.
And he recognized me.
Wow.
That was fucking tight.
Well,
we gotta
get those free
Yeah.
drinks.
Yeah.
Hey, you forgot one of the cool utilities.
What?
You get a fire avatar for your Zoom calls or whatever.
Yes. We didn't even say this yet. The actual artwork is a Kathy.
It's a Kathy. It's a chatty Kathy.
Yeah.
Some might be a little angry. Some are laughing.
She's
some
bad,
and
though.
to that point, I do have gifts for you because I always come bearing gifts. So,
Yes.
I have dramas, but he's not here, and his is actually the background of his is a Zoom screen, so it's fitting. So sorry, drama. You'll have to get that on your way in on Sunday or whatever. But yeah, so each there's a different characteristics. Anand's is a big hat, and he's holding a Bitcoin. Dee has a glass of tequila and a Harvard background, which is pretty epic and legendary.
This is so cool.
And then
if you watch on YouTube, you could see it. We'll post this on social.
That's amazing.
This is so
and then
good.
Drama has the Zoom screen background, and then he's holding a book. So
mine is holding a tequila in front of Delilah.
yeah, and yours in front of Delilah. Yeah.
Don't worry, Brian. Your likeness is not being used, so you're not getting a fucking penny.
I got lipstick on me.
Yeah, and so we did white and Indian. So we're representing both races.
All races.
All races. So
these are good.
Thank you.
And so all of the characteristics are, if you're a longtime listener, there's the Hollywood, there's the Harvards, there's the laser eyes. It's basically all the things we talk about.
Yep.
So you guys will get the preview. We'll post it on social. Groupchat NFT.com.
Yep, that's it.
Sign up there. I think this is going to be a very, very special group of people, and we'll figure out, I'm not like a big merch person, but we'll do something so that when you're out in the wild, it represents,
I got an idea.
That you're a part of this community.
Doug has he wants to do something a little risque.
Yeah. I don't know.
Chaps.
No, it's a t-shirt. It's a t-shirt, but it's chaps would be great to go with this shirt, by the way. I don't know. You might, there's a copyright laws, so I don't know. Just
say it. Only Kathy's.
Only Kathy's, man. Just a simple Kathy's shirt.
Yeah. I like that.
And one thing we do, because we're going to have a really cool NFT lounge in a professional sporting arena very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And so we should do an event there with
Great.
Tequila and the group chat crew.
Yeah. And then, Lo Siento events, Menlo Club, Young and Reckless, all of our stuff will be integrated into it, which will be really fun. And then, sign up. Let's get this fun started. And I think the events, I really want to do a summit in Palm Springs.
Ooh,
yeah.
Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Why Palm Springs?
A lot of reasons that will be disclosed later.
Okay.
But yes, we
I'm
have.
here smiling.
We have a Kathy that owns hotels in Palm Springs.
they've got weed hotels in.
Makes it easy.
Yeah, so then it's easier to throw an event, and
Is it some of the weed friendly ones? Because I
don't
throw
know if
some
it's weed
drinks.
friendly.
Well, there's a bunch. There's actually 2 or 3 forwardly facing weed friendly
wow, okay.
hotels.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
Okay.
hey, I'll bring some drinks.
Okay. But yeah, so I think Palm Springs would be great. And then, for golf, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just good. It's a great outdoors.
I'll have to buy some more shit, man.
Yeah.
John's getting into golf now.
Well, honestly, guys, thank you very much. I'm honored to be a part of this and do this with you guys, and can't wait to meet more of the Kathy community. It's gonna be great.
Awesome. And yeah, we're still figuring out pricing, but we'll make it accessible.
Yep.
That's what we do.
Awesome.
All right, let's get into the episode. All right, as an NFT holder, you'll get mega insight into all of our financial predictions. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but if you were listening to the podcast the last couple of months, there were some pretty big calls. One was Brent Belote, who's the oil trader we had on. We asked him, what would you do? And this is when oil was hitting, was rocking.
It's like all-time highs.
Near all-time highs. And he said he would short it.
Second half of the year, he said he's shorting oil.
Okay.
And he said that on the pod.
On the pod. Oil is down 30%. It might even be down more now. I think crude oil when he was on was 120, 130. I think right now it's at $88.
What's funny is I texted him in our fantasy football chat, holy shit, you called it. You know what his response was?
What?
This ain't no hobby.
Whoa. The arrogance of oil traders.
Hey, he was right. He should take a victory lap.
Yeah. I get it. Good job, Brent. But that was a good call. Anand was a big believer that he thought growth stocks had bottomed out in June. And you know,
everything's ripped since.
Yeah, Anand has been day trading options this week. And he's long everything. Doesn't matter. These companies are shit. They have no future. A lot of these have no hope. The stocks are all up.
Everything's up.
Doesn't matter. Their earnings are not even good for most of these companies.
Earnings. So here's the thing that I think the takeaway is all the companies that I'm doing this with are down 70, 80, 90% in some cases.
They're off price.
I am firmly a believer that the reason growth was down so much was because of leverage. Like they shouldn't be down 80, 90%. These are real businesses. They probably should have been down 40, 50%. But because so many people were levered from the biggest hedge funds to individuals, same thing happened with crypto. Everyone was levered on the rise. And so when leverage starts unwinding, it crashes. That's what happened to tech stocks, and that's what happened to crypto. Leverage caused like most of the pain. So now when these companies are reporting earnings, people are like, oh, this is still a real business. And they're like, let's pile some money in.
Yeah, I mean, like for some of these, sure. Like DoorDash, which the stock is up 18% in after hours, completely missed and lost a shitload of money. They said their revenue grew 30% year over year, but everything else is like, they spent $40 million providing extra gas saving and mileage-based bonuses payments to Dashers in the second quarter. You should be rewarded for that.
They beat on revenue.
So what? If you spent the money to get the revenue, that doesn't mean your business is any healthier.
I've been a believer in DoorDash.
I'm not a believer in DoorDash. Not at all.
I think it's the future.
Of what?
Of last mile delivery.
I think it's not affordable. I think it's gonna be a company that bleeds money forever. I
think the CEO is gonna be considered like one of this generation of entrepreneurs. Last 10 years is one of the elite ones. I'm gonna tell you that I think this company gets bought in a fire sale in 5 years. That's my prediction. I'll take the opposite side of the bet.
I think
the stock will be 5x in 5 years.
5x, no chance. It's so overvalued still.
5x. We can mark this down.
Okay,
Jordan, let's write this down. 5 years from now, if you're still with us, remember.
Yeah, you could put it in calendar. Only 2 years though, I think, because I put crazy predictions. But yeah, like so. Clearly, there's appetite for all of these stocks now that they're down. A number of companies this week have reported earnings, and for the most part, they've reacted, pretty positively to it. What's interesting is Revolve announced earnings as well, and their business is actually healthy and profitable. They have 56% gross margin. They have no debt. They're cash rich, and their stock went down. But to be fair, their stock hasn't gone down as much as a lot of these other folks. But I was just shocked they had increased inventory, which is kind of basic, basically the entire industry. So there's nothing unique to them, but all of their metrics were really solid. So interesting to see how different companies overreact and some companies underreact. And I think the other part was, specifically all the oversold tech stocks seems like they're getting a little bit of a bump because they have been clobbered.
Yeah, they've all been clobbered.
Yeah. I personally think they're probably more rightly priced right now because they're just so far away from making money. And
it depends on the company.
Sure. I mean, Google's making money, but they're not a high flying growth stock. They're a big cap tech stock at this point.
They're big cap growth stock.
Yeah. But I'm saying like most of these companies, DoorDash only grew 30%. Google grew more.
Google's ad business grew more.
Yeah.
So there's only two places to advertise. They're always going to grow.
Yeah. But I could find a lot of companies that are growing substantially better than a DoorDash.
We'll see.
I mean, 30% is just not that impressive when
30% when the last year there a lot of people were still staying at home, and now no one's staying at home, and it still grew. So the comp is actually impressive. But
they spent the money to get the comp. They spent the money. So it doesn't, like, you could say, oh, my sales went up $1 billion, but I spent $1 billion to get it.
Hey, we made our bet.
What?
We made our bet.
Yeah. I'm not, the CEO could be amazing. He's just in a tough business. It's really hard.
Food is just the beginning. And I think everyone that knows the company believes that too.
Sure. I just think it's what you're learning from an Amazon is that logistics is too expensive. Like, as it's e-commerce logistics is just a very tough place to play in for the foreseeable future until it's fully autonomous. If you have human beings you're paying $25 an hour to, it's just too hard to make money. And I don't even know how much between oil and, labor, how much of that eats into DoorDash's margins, because clearly they're not profitable yet.
Yeah, we'll see.
Tiger Global, one of the kind of the big funds in technology, their portfolio, I think for the first half of this year is down like 60+%. Their main blame is inflation.
It's interesting.
You got to blame something. I just don't know if, I guess the only way
it's a circuitous way of what they're trying to say is inflation caused the Fed to raise rates, which clobbered tech stocks.
Yeah. So then I think you should say interest rates as opposed to inflation.
Yeah. And leverage too. They don't want to say how much leverage they probably were playing with, because they shouldn't be down 63%. That means they were only in growth stocks, because the rest of the market's not down 63%.
No, because Apple and those companies are not down 60%.
Correct.
So they were very long all of these companies. Stocks. Which is interesting because, like, those people are doing, like, I would think, real analysis on cash flows and say that, holy shit, Apple and Google and Microsoft seem like so bulletproof.
Yeah.
These other folks seem like...
It's crazy because, fund managers at that scale get paid. We talked about the fee that they make. So, like, they've raised tens of billions of dollars. So you're paying these guys hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
To beat a certain hurdle rate. Yeah. And they didn't really do anything unique.
Yeah. Well,
the average Robinhood retail trader is down 63% this year.
I think they're down 100.
Maybe 100.
I think the average Robinhood trader.
I guess if you get paid hundreds of millions of dollars, you should be a little better than the Robinhood trader.
Yeah. Just the average Robinhood trader has $0 in their bank account. They've lost everything.
At that scale, I don't know how you make that money up. In those funds.
They're probably up big this week.
They said, yeah, they're up, but like, I guess the larger point is, over time, this fund's like 20 years old, that Chase Coleman at least is behind.
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard to beat the S&P 500.
S&P is just hot.
Over the long run.
Yeah.
And the risk you take to beat it is like significant, because you could be down 63%.
Yeah. And I think I've seen the analysis of like the number of all asset classes that have beat the S&P 500, including the best investors in the world. It's very few.
Yeah, especially if you look at venture funds, there's probably there's hundreds, if not thousands of venture funds. Thousands in the US only. And I think it's like single digit how many beat the S&P 500.
Yeah.
At scale over $1 billion.
Yeah.
If you raise over $1 billion, there's hundreds, not thousands.
Yeah.
It's not very many.
Yeah. So don't be an investor. You ain't going to beat the S&P 500.
Well, it all depends what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to do this for retirement, just put money in the S&P 500.
Yeah, don't mess around.
If you're trying to go for a home run, yeah, you have to get risky, but realize you're probably going to lose your money.
Yeah. It's crazy. The S&P 500 is just a great...
Yeah. And you don't have to think about it.
Yeah. You just put money into that every week.
It's basically, are you long America over the next 30 years?
I love America.
There you go.
So I should put my money in
And you
S&P
think about
500.
how unstable the rest of the world is.
Yeah.
What's the most, despite all the conflict everyone wants to talk about in the U.S., from an economic perspective, there's no one close.
I would not put $1 in any other country.
Right.
Yeah. I used to think China. I just think China's
China's done.
It's imploding.
I mean, it's completely done. I mean, there's no secret. If you're a successful Chinese entrepreneur and you've left China in the last 2-3 years, you're not going back.
Yeah. You can't go back.
You can't. If you're a Chinese billionaire that lives outside of China and goes back to Beijing, you're toast.
Yeah.
You're never leaving.
Yeah. I ran into a friend of ours who's from Hong Kong yesterday, and he's like, I don't know if I really want to go back. It's kind of rough over there.
The stories that you hear, there are a lot of successful people that got out before they started jailing all their billionaires.
Yeah.
They're never going back. I mean, if your alternative is jail or live outside China, what's your choice?
I don't know. I've never been to jail, so I have no
view,
no comparison.
You might like the structure in jail.
Yeah, you get 3 square meals. You get to work out a lot. Yeah, I would love to go do push-ups and sit-ups, be ripped.
Easiest way to get a six-pack.
I'm not into the fighting. That would be tough for me.
Yeah, I think the billionaires don't get that jail. They just get like locked in like a farmhouse with probably decent amenities.
Yeah, that's not that bad. Moving on. Mortgage rates. They keep dropping.
Yeah.
Interest rates go up, mortgage rates drop.
Like we talked about, the mortgage rate is a reflection of kind of the 10-year like view on interest rates. So the market's telling you that the Fed's not going to be that much more aggressive than already priced in.
Yeah.
So what could change that? Inflation report, it's probably next week, I think.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. We have it every month now. We can either crater or make the market.
So if I were to think anecdotally on inflation, the only thing that is slightly cheaper in my life is gas.
And the real problem is, I think rent is 36% of the CPI of the inflation. And we know rents are just soaring. So I don't know if that is, energy's down, I guess, but rent is higher. So does it just balance out and we're at 9 again?
Yeah, I don't see prices. So like we heard from Ollie from Car Trackers that some used car prices are dropping. Some new car prices are dropping. Nowhere at, I went to dinner last night with AJ, who listens to the pod, and we were at a restaurant and we were laughing because like every entree was like $60, $70, $80.
Where'd you go?
I don't want to give them a plug. But it was just like...
Can't wait to put in the group chat. It wasn't an H-Wood property.
It was not an H-Wood. We were in Hollywood, so we went to the DeviantArt NFT thing.
Oh.
I'm a big NFT guy now.
Yeah, you have to get in the community.
Yeah, I have to build my community amongst the Web3 people. But you can't... where have prices dropped anywhere besides gas? And I don't think gas has dropped enough yet.
I guess if demand has dropped, if people have stopped spending money.
So I think that's what happened to gasoline. Summer driving was less this year than what it was like spring 2020 before pandemic, which is nuts because summer driving is usually crazy.
One of the, I was at a restaurant, grabbing something for lunch, and the cashier told me he's spending $400 to $500 a month on gas.
That's insane.
And he's a cashier, so he's hourly waged.
Yeah. Where's he driving from?
So he's an hour each way.
I mean, you can't find a cashier job closer?
I don't know.
I mean, because you're not getting tips. You could easily be a cashier in your neighborhood and save. Like, he's not doing the math right. He's losing $500 a month to drive an hour to be a cashier?
Yes.
Do you get tips as a cashier?
I have no idea. This wasn't like that type of place. It's like a grab and go.
He's a bit of an idiot. He should, because let's say what is he earning? $15, $17 an hour?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe he has a lot of problems he's trying to solve for. So you talk about rents. The national average for rent in America right now is $24.95. So nearly $2,500. which is a double-digit increase from last year. Same time last year, 13%.
Yeah.
That's nuts. The top most expensive monthly rent markets for single-family homes. LA County being number one, $4,600. San Diego, $4,600. Bridgeport, Connecticut, $4,300. San Jose, $4,200. Oxnard, $4,200. 5 cities with the least expensive.
So 4 of the top 5 are California.
Yeah. And then the least expensive single family homes, Mobile, Alabama, $1,400. Dayton, Kettering, Ohio, $1,400. Wichita, Kansas, $1,397. Akron, Drama's People, $1,361. Canton, Ohio, $1,300. Ohio is the place to go.
I mean, I know Drama's parents listen to the pod. Bring him home.
Yeah.
What's he doing paying these Hollywood rents?
Yeah. He got a mansion in Ohio.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually know some people who actually relocated to Ohio in the last 2 years.
Smart.
Yeah.
If your job allows you to earn from anywhere,
To live in Ohio.
you should, unless you're just like, you're tied to like one of these metropolitan cities for a reason, like it's got to be tough to just not leave.
But like if you're in Ohio and you could make 6 figures, for example, you probably live such a great life.
Yeah, for sure.
Where here you are scraping by.
Yeah, even these NBA players that make like hundreds of millions of dollars, when they like leave like Houston, Texas, and they say like, "Oh, James Harden sold his home." It's like a $6 million house, and it's ridiculous.
It's like 70 acres.
Yeah,
6 million,
you can't even get more space. You can't. There's no reason to even spend more money.
No, because there's
You have everything.
Yeah,
And you hear like Anthony Davis has to spend $30 million to live in Brentwood.
yeah. There's like a pretty big NBA center. I mean, I think he just might have retired. Who lives near where we drop off for preschool, and I mean, he must make $20 million a year, but he's just living in like a $6 million house in the middle of like West
With
Hollywood.
like no pool.
Yeah.
Or if it's a pool, it's like a wading pool.
Yeah. It's not like he's not swimming laps.
No,
not
if
in his
it's
size.
the center, yeah.
Yeah, he's like 7 feet. I see him putting out trash. I'm like, man, you make so much
Who's
money.
the center?
What? I'll remember.
He's currently playing?
No, I think he just recently retired. Been around a while. But he's like 7 feet tall. He's huge. And he's beautiful house, but it's like in the middle of like town.
Yeah. It's tough.
All right, we'll see. So Coinbase, interesting. Coinbase had a big announcement this week or today.
Mhm.
They are doing a deal with Blackrock, which allows Blackrock investors, clients get access to trading crypto, buying crypto.
Yep.
And BlackRock, I think, is the largest wealth manager in the world.
It's the largest asset manager in the history of the world.
Yeah.
So they're the ones who lost the 1.7 trillion that we talked about.
They lost 1.7 and are getting into crypto? I don't know about this company. It's trying to get it back in one trade.
It's the biggest investment firm in the history of the world.
Yeah.
And
who are their clients?
Like pension funds, like Ontario's, like teacher, whatever.
Yeah, the Canadian.
Canadian. It would probably be like the UC system.
Yeah.
You know, Harvard Endowment.
Yeah.
Yale Endowment. Those are the types.
It's giving their clients direct access through Coinbase to safely buy crypto.
Yeah.
Institutions to buy crypto.
Which shows that they clearly are getting the demand from their clients. Like, hey, we need to buy crypto. And for BlackRock to build out the infrastructure that Coinbase has takes tens of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So why would they do that?
Yeah.
That's not their expertise. So partner with Coinbase. So
the stock got a nice pop.
And this is also like, I don't know how much more signal you need in crypto that it's not going anywhere. If the biggest investors in the world who are BlackRock's clients want crypto, it's not going anywhere. Yeah. What's the price of anything? It's what the demand and supply is, right? Yeah. And if there's more demand, then the price goes up.
Yeah.
This isn't like hard to figure out.
Yeah.
I know everyone shit on crypto because it's gone down 50% or whatever. But it depends when you got in. Like the people who got in 5 years ago don't care.
Yeah.
You're up so much. People who got in 3 years ago don't care.
Yeah.
And this is like not stopping. You hear, every financial news outlet tracks crypto regularly. That means the viewers and listeners all want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And if there's enough belief in something, it's way past the point of no return.
Yeah. No, I think fundamentally people agree with that. I think there's still a lot of noise that still needs to get fleshed out. Yeah. Because, I was reading this, I'm sure everyone saw this thread or article around Axie Infinity. Yeah. And basically we were talking about it. We're like, oh, there's play to earn. It was a Ponzi.
Yeah. There's going to be bad actors. Yeah. There's Ponzi's in the stock market today.
Yeah.
So, you have to do your own research and figure out. Do your own research?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting about the crypto crash of the last 60 days, call it. So what were the big things that blew up? 3AC, that hedge fund.
Yeah.
BlockFi. What was the third one? Voyager and Celsius.
Yep.
What's interesting about all of those that's centralized finance. They're run by people.
Yeah.
The DeFi protocols, the real DeFi protocols, sure, they're down, but they didn't go insolvent because it was pre-coded of how the rules are.
Yeah.
What's funny is when the humans get involved, they do stupid shit and they go bankrupt.
Yeah.
So if you're in a truly decentralized finance world, insolvency is tough if you've made the rules.
Yeah. And I think such an interesting example of like how you can protect yourself. So there's yesterday, the last like 48 hours, you've been seeing a lot of Solana hacks, and it was this hack through the Slope wallet, and apparently 9,000 wallets got exploited for roughly $6 million. And interesting enough, Ledger customers were messaging in to Ledger saying that because they had moved their coins to Ledger, their wallets did not get impacted because it was already off the chain. And so I think that's pretty indicative of like, you can avoid a lot of these problems that you're seeing in Web3 if you take the precaution. Because to me, like, it's like a rite of passage. Everyone gets hacked. I think 100% of active wallets are getting hacked.
Say that again?
I think 100% of active, like a MetaMask.
Coinbase hasn't had a hack.
No, not Coinbase. But I'm saying if you're active in Web3, you are in DeFi, you're doing all kinds. Like the people I talk to have like 700 wallets. Yeah. They're doing trades all over the world. They're doing shit. One of those wallets has been hacked. They're always
MetaMask. You're flipping a coin every day you wake up. If your shit's gone.
I've left a bunch of stuff in my MetaMask. What else that has not been hacked yet? Mm-hmm. And I'm just waiting to see when those are going to get taken. At this point, like I just assume they're going to take.
If your wallet's connected to the internet, it's up for hack.
Yeah. That's a big flaw with Web3.
Well, that's because Web2 is not built for Web3.
Well, Ledger is, right?
Ledger
it actually is built. It's just people don't use it. And that's where the opportunity is that like you can easily be protected by just transferring all your stuff to Ledger. I mean, the amount of hacks that happen every single day and then people still don't move their shit to Ledger is fucking wild. Mm-hmm. It's just a small...
Especially if you're actively moving shit around.
Yeah.
Because then your wallet's being seen like, oh, there's activity here. Let's go steal it.
Yeah. Yeah, they see it. Everything is too visible. Too visible in this world. So we'll see. Go, get your Ledger. Head over to ledger.com. They got that new Nano X, and we'll see what happens. All right. So before we head into winners, losers, and content, Anand asked me to bring up Batgirl.
I think it's one of the more fascinating stories in the history.
What is Batgirl?
Batgirl's a movie.
Okay.
So, there's Batman, there's Batgirl.
Okay.
And
who's the girl?
It doesn't matter because Warner Brothers spent $90 million making this movie. And from all reports, it's pretty much done.
Okay.
So the
movie itself is done.
The movie's made. Okay. There's like final editing. They had to do like some CGI stuff from what I've read. And they spent $90 million on this. And it's like, obviously a big IP, and they shelved it.
Wow.
And they prefer to take a $90 million tax write-off than spend the required north of $50 million marketing the movie and it potentially not working.
I'm curious, like Batgirl, right? That's part of, is it DC, Marvel, whatever, one of those. You could probably just put that shit out and people would watch it. You could probably spend $1 million with TikTokers, and why don't they learn to be more efficient with marketing? You think anyone's driving down Sunset and be like, hey, I should go check out Batgirl?
Because of a billboard, you mean?
They're fucking idiots.
Yeah, I mean, if Andrew Tate can
especially on Sunset, the last people on Earth
that go to movie theaters,
marketing to is anyone who drives Sunset near my house. Fucking 0 people.
Yeah, that's a
biggest waste of money.
It's a big miss.
Go to the suburbs and spend the money. Having that huge, where HBO advertises and everyone takes a picture in front of it when they have it. No, what's the point of that? Do you think those people are going to the movies? Anybody?
I think it's also interesting that the stakes are so high for all these studios now because the budgets are so high. Yeah. They're not taking risks. Yeah. So they rather just write this movie off than spend more money and lose because, I mean, it's an all-out war, right? And content because there's limited attention span.
I just don't believe the advertising. Look, the trailers, I think an incredible trailer, I see the value in. Like, I went and watched the new Black Panther trailer and I was like, oh shit, this looks cool.
Yeah.
But like, I think they spend it on like billboards. Like, it's so stupid.
And I think this kind of puts like creatives on notice.
Yeah.
Like the studios in Hollywood's not fucking around. This isn't like, in the beginning of the pandemic or before the pandemic, there was this like unlimited budgets, like Netflix spending $15 billion a year and everyone's spending billions and billions. And then they realized that's probably not the smart way to go about it.
Yeah.
So like they're going to take less risk. They're going to only go for guarantees if they're going to spend the money.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy. I think entertainment's shifted so much in the last 4 years.
Yeah. And I also think like, I would love for a studio to put out a huge movie and not spend the money on marketing. Just like, it's just a really good piece of content and it's going to go viral on its own. Like, don't they have the confidence in that? Like, there's incredible films that are made that probably would have done well without the budget. Like, do you need that? Does Netflix need to have every billboard on Sunset? Literally every single one is Netflix.
Right.
Do you think you have streamers all over the world? Why on Sunset? The most expensive billboard spot in the West Coast.
Yeah, person streaming in Canton, Ohio is the same.
It's not impacted by like...
No, it's the same money for Netflix if you're in Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's like 7
gray
man...
Midwest, right? The Netflix should... Maybe they do have all the billboards in Ohio. I don't know.
Not at these rents. $1,300 to get a house. They should just rent houses. You know how much that billboard is on Sunset? It's like $80,000 a month. You should instead rent people houses in Ohio
and give them
be like, you could come and watch Gray Man at our house filled with food and drinks.
It's cheaper.
It's way cheaper. Imagine if you just had Gray Man watch parties all over the country.
Yeah, Netflix should just like create an experience in Canton, Ohio.
Yeah.
Like rent out.
Anyone who comes to Canton, Ohio, get a free place to stay and popcorn and food. Each one of those billboards is between like 50 and 100 grand a month. Each one.
It's crazy.
And Gray Man still sucked.
You had there's counter. Brian told us that it's amazing.
He has horrendous taste.
People might say that about you as well.
No, those people would be idiots.
You know what caught my eye? The only billboard on Sunset, because I drove it this week, and I thought of you, was the Kevin Hart Mark Wahlberg movie coming out.
Oh yeah, Me Team. Yeah. That billboard worked on me actually. I wouldn't have known about Me Team.
I didn't know that movie was coming out.
I saw the trailer on like Twitter or something.
But that was the only billboard. The only reason I saw Kevin Hart, and it made me think that you need Kevin Hart in a movie for you to like it.
100%. Oh, The Rock's fine too.
Okay.
I'll do any Rock movie. Other big news is HBO Max and Discovery Plus are combining into a single streaming service. So this consolidation to me is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? Like Who has like Peacock? Do you know anyone with Peacock? Oh my God. There's actually two people in the studio.
So the CEO is the one that shelved Batgirl. It's like, get the fuck out of here, Batgirl.
This guy's making moves. So the combined will have 92 million subscribers. That's a lot.
We need to go back to cable.
I mean, that's where we're heading.
No, these streaming services.
We're going back to driving cars, back to work, cable.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2023. It's the future. You're gonna be sitting in your office, the water cooler talk. We're going backwards, guys.
Yeah,
that's where we're going.
Our Hollywood insider, I won't say the name, basically said this CEO is just there to cut costs and make more money, and he doesn't give a shit about the creatives.
That's probably they have to swing the pendulum that way because they went too much the other way.
Right.
And look, all the revenue and the sales, everything is going to reflect that, right? Like the ad market's going to be soft next year for TV. There's no doubt. Unless there are more drugs. Pharmaceuticals. Remember, 75% of all TV ad spend is pharmaceutical drugs. That's great. So if there's drugs to hawk, they're going to start. Of course there's drugs to hawk. They got monkeypox now. Yeah, now they can do monkeypox treatments. No one wants monkeypox. What do you got, pharmaceutical companies? Spend some money. We need someone who's at Upfront to answer my question. Because Upfront is advertisers and the new shows or talent, whatever. Yeah. Is it just a bunch of pharmaceutical reps? Yeah. I wonder if those people who work at like Pfizer, if they take any drugs. Or they're just like, nah, man, I'm holistic. No, it's like Magic Johnson. He owns like a bunch of franchises of like TGI Friday, Starbucks, all this stuff. And like they go through his diet and he's, he takes care of his body. Yeah. He's not putting any of that shit in his body. No. Warren Buffett's the only true one. Yeah. He's just drinking Coca-Cola. Cherry Coke every day, right? McDonald's every day. Dr. Pepper. I think it's McDonald's breakfast every day and he's in his 90s. Yeah. Imagine if you were told that you could have Taco Bell every day and you can live to 90. That would be a dream, right? Yeah. There's got to be something he's doing. He's having someone suck the McDonald's out of him afterwards. Like he ingests it and then it gets taken out immediately. Maybe. All right, moving on. Winners, losers, content. Who's your winner of the week? My winner of the week is the stock market. The last 2 weeks have been I think it's a 13% rally in the S&P in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Yep. Which is insane in that short period of time. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that this is the start of the next bull rally, but I don't think we go lower than we were at the lows. That's my call. Okay. So it's going to be down. Choppy. Yeah. No, I said it won't go lower than the lows, which is 2 months ago. All right. That's fair. But right now you think we're ripping. I have a friend at a financial institution, one of the big banks, and they got a memo. I would not short the market right now. Okay. All right. All right, my winner of the week is football is back today. Yeah, the Hall of Fame game. Yeah, can you believe it? We're finally back. Yeah, it's great. I don't even know who's playing. I don't even give a shit. I'm just so glad it's back. So the NFL this week announced that Amazon is paying $1 billion this year to have an alternate broadcast for Thursday Night Football. So there's going to be the regular Thursday Night Football. Yeah. And they just picked up an extra $1 billion for Amazon to do whatever the hell they want. My other winner is NFL franchise owners. The average NFL franchise is worth $4.2 billion. Yeah, that's crazy. We know some NFL owners. I don't remember what they got in the price at. It was under $1 billion for sure. I think the highest it could have been was $700 million, but it was probably less. Yeah. To buy into the team at that time. And that was 10 years? 14 actually. Yeah. Yeah. That's probably better than S&P 500. I think they beat Tiger Global. What? They beat Tiger Global. Yeah. I mean, that's insane. NFL is just the best. It's just the best. Yeah, and I remember when it leaked that Roger Goodell makes $50 million a year and people got mad. He should make more. He's very underpaid. Yes. Forget what you think about how much wealth he's created these people. Yeah. He's honestly the figurehead to take all this shit and get screamed at by the media while the owners make billions. I would do it for far less. You could spit in my face for $25 a year. When you see me, you could just spit at me. Yeah. As a fan. Who's your loser?
I mean, she's not a loser. I just feel bad, and she got the wrong end of the stick. As Brittany Griner got sentenced to 9 years in prison in Russia, and it's just a shitty situation because it's a geopolitical game. And I don't know. The U.S. already offered prisoners, and they said no. Supposedly, yeah. I don't know what the U.S. can do to get her out.
Stop giving money to the Ukraine,
probably, and they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So it's a sad situation.
Yeah, it's rough. Really rough. Does she would she start serving immediately, or how does it work?
She's been in jail.
So, but I don't think Russia works like time served. They're not like generously giving you time served over there. But that's crazy. Now, how old is she? In her 30s?
Maybe 20s.
Wow. And so she had a vape pen.
Yeah, she had a vape pen.
Fuck. I'm good on going to Russia.
There's not many countries you can really go to outside of Western Europe. Can't even go to Eastern Europe anymore.
I have no desire to go to Eastern Europe. Western Europe, definitely. Like, I enjoy going there.
Yeah. She's 31.
My friend FaceTimed me today from Scorpio in Mykonos. Like, fuck off.
Because Mykonos is amazing.
Yeah, well, and Scorpio is amazing. Yeah. But I was just like, fuck off.
I didn't really like seeing all the Sancho Pay posts all summer.
Yeah, it doesn't make me feel good.
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah. All right, my loser. My loser of the week is Kathy Wood. She's the really famous, what is she? She fund manager?
Yeah, she does all the high risk shit.
Yeah, ARC.
Yep.
And she sold all of her Coinbase. And since then, it's up like 75% since she sold it.
Yeah, didn't I tell you and our friend in a private chat 10 days ago, when Coinbase was at $50, that you guys should go long on those options?
Yeah.
You'd be up 3,000%.
3,000? Mm-hmm. That could have been in Mykonos then.
Yeah, you'd be at Scorpio FaceTiming us an episode.
Yeah, but wow, that's crazy. What's crazy is I'm surprised. So Coinbase was up yesterday in anticipation of this. Obviously, people knew because it all of a sudden turned on a dime and went up. It's amazing how many people have inside information.
Everyone.
Yeah. Well, not everyone. Kathy Wood did not have inside information. No,
she didn't. But like the smart ones do.
Yeah.
If you're beating the market, you're beating the market with inside information.
Yeah. They should just make it legal, so we all get to participate in insider trading.
Because the actual legal rule is, if, let's say you're at a dinner and
someone gives you a hot tip,
and you manage money, or you invest at some threshold, I forget what it is. Essentially, if you're rich, and you're being told by a hedge fund manager, like, oh, this is like, or a CEO, this is what's happening in our company the next 3 months. And you're legally supposed to file with the SEC that you received non-public information. Who's doing that?
Yeah. Someone sits down at dinner and goes, man, you would not believe what Tim Cook told me. He said they were going to sell 4 billion iPhones.
Yeah. Do you think anyone's like, I don't want to trade that. I'm going to...
Someone just writes that information and files that. That file at the SEC must be empty.
Empty. That person doesn't have any work to do.
Yeah. You're just like, any submissions today? Idiots. All right. Content of the week.
New movie coming out with Brad Pitt. It's called Bullet Train.
What's that about?
Don't know, but I'm gonna watch it
in the theater.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my god.
Critics don't like it. Apparently,
what?
Critics don't like it, but I like Brad Pitt.
It's really funny to see like the dichotomy of Rotten Tomato scores and the critic scores. They're always way off. There's very rare. Do you ever see something that both sides like?
Oh, the popcorn and the critic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Rotten Tomatoes? Yeah. Interesting. Okay, my content, first time ever. I'm going to recommend a book.
Wow.
I'm not even reading it. I'm listening to it. I'm not going to sit and read it, but actually recommended by an investor of mine. It's called Amp It Up by Frank Slutzman. Slutman. He is a legendary 3-time CEO, Data Domain, ServiceNow, and then Snowflake. And it's really about like blitz scaling your company. It's really interesting. Like, and it's very relatable if you're a founder or a CEO on how to grow your business.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with the audiobook is when he's talking, it's really good.
Yeah.
But they have like a robot talking. It sounds like a robot. Like the
he didn't do the whole book?
Like the forward was done by this robot sound, which I found very distracting.
Why don't they just pay like a good voice guy?
Yeah, like why can't
guy who does the trailers in the movie theater?
Oh my God, I would love to listen to that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was shocked like that it's unless this guy sounds like a robot. He's
a software CEO.
What?
He is a software CEO.
So he just like put a robot for my I can't listen to the robot. I literally tune out. I have there could have been some gems, but when the robot was talking, I just
and Frank Slootman, obviously we don't really know much shit about software, but they talk about him as like one of the greats.
Yeah.
Like any software investor.
Yeah. Pretty cool. And he's got a very
What is he talking about?
The idea basically is like, what are the things to focus on in your, like in his case, he was brought in as the CEO.
Yep.
He was never the founder of the business, but early enough where obviously he was compensated extremely well. And, he walked into scenarios that were in sometimes some situations not doing well. And he came in and got the company focused. And, how do you stay focused, not get distracted? Where do you spend money? How do you build culture and team? How do you get everyone focused? Like he has a thesis around like sales driven product. And if you go talk to a typical technology company, they'll always tell you we are a product driven organization. And the problem with being fully driven by product is that you believe inherently that technology can solve every single aspect of the customer's problem, but there are human beings involved in a lot of this process, specifically in the sales process. You could have the best product in the world. If you can't get it in front of people, it doesn't matter. And the most successful SaaS software companies have insane salespeople that get compensated extremely well. And I think that's like a very interesting part of his thesis is around driving sales.
Yeah, software sales, you can make a killing.
Yeah.
Remember I told you once it was the Maui Four Seasons and it was just a bunch of DocuSign sales
But he
reps.
even talked about that. He even said that like he didn't like when it was like basically everyone was commissioned and it was like Hunger Games because then not everyone's interests are aligned.
Yeah.
That you actually have to create goals as an organization. That way, if the entire organization is driving towards sales, then everyone should benefit. Or leadership should benefit, right? So it's like even that, I'm not done with the book yet, but like even the way he thought about like commissions is very different than how a lot of people talk. Everyone else is like, go give everyone commissions, go blitz scale this thing and let everyone make money or let the best people make money. But sometimes he said like your interests are not all aligned. Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Are we all set?
I think that's it.
All right. Everyone have a great weekend. And see you back here on Sunday.
We know you're not seeing Batgirl.
Yeah, no one can. That's going to be like a weird NFT like 5 years from now.
It's like Shkreli buying the Wu-Tang album.
Yeah, someone's just going to buy it.
Yeah.
Like,
some DC like fanatic that's a billionaire.
Yeah, I'm sure there's all those people are probably DC fanatics. They'll just buy it for like $100 million and just watch it.
Stream it at their house.
Yeah. I guarantee they should do that to recoup their money.
Yeah, it's
just put the whole movie up for sale for $90 million.
Yeah, one copy.
One copy, you can have it. It would sell.
Yeah, it would definitely sell.
And be great marketing. You know what? It would be a great move is like...
Yeah, if you had the only one copy of Batgirl in the history of the world, that'll go for a lot.
By the way, why doesn't Netflix just buy it for $90 million?
Too busy spending on billboards.
Billboards? Who's chief billboard officer at Netflix? That person's busy.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you Sunday.